Hey guys, Blackbart here, bringing you a build guide on a kind of weird build that has come out in the past couple of days. I did a little bit of manipulation to it using Smile of the Searing whatevers, Smile of the Searing song. There are other versions of this that do more damage, but this one has the most balance as far as staying alive and doing damage. So just show a little bit of gameplay here. This is in a +6 if I don't die right off the bat, and you basically just jump around and massacre everything, looting all the bodies you possibly can, keeping your shout up at all times so you stay alive, and just jumping a lot. Now, that right there is the gameplay. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to take this off so I die. Die instantaneously. And we'll go over what this build does. This build takes advantage of this skill right here, Wings of Ishmir, and the stamina point use instead of anything else. It does a little bit of damage too, so we go in for shockwave, and then flight speed is absolutely necessary, so this is the only setup you can go with, otherwise it feels really bad. We're also taking advantage of Sovereign Shout for the likelihood of club spawn, and really that's about it. The effectiveness is good and duration is good. These are mandatory. These are all 4-pointers, and they don't really do a whole lot, so gaining rage and bonus resistances is always good. The only other one that we really use is Bleeding Edge, which we use the one that follows you so that it continues the damage going when you're going pack to pack. Axes keep going over short duration. It makes you deal less damage, but they continue to follow you and you just on more stuff to death. And then projectile speed is way better than area of effect because it makes it swing around faster, and you can use the Tracker's Reach to keep everything close by if you need to. I also use Tracker's Reach, so it pulls enemies from all directions, reduces the cooldown, so it's only a 3-second use. Stun and range are always good, although you can change it up if you need to. I don't really find any need to have rage built or more health globes because you already have a shitload of health globes. Those are the only skills you're really using with this variation of the build. Other variations to use the bulwark, and we'll touch on those as well too. Very important for this build, mandatory items are going to be the Smile of the Searing song, and this is used in my thick boy build as well, so that we can get some good amount of life. Sorry, excuse me. I have 13k. I'm not really stacking a whole ton of life, but enough to be effective and really withstand a lot of the one-shots all the way through or I guess Vet 7. I can sit there and tank decently. The rest of the gear is going to be stacking as much force shield on items as possible, so we can take advantage of this. I have these on really just for the agility's good, movement speed's good, and a stamina point. You can put adept boots on here as well if you wanted more HP. 3 crowns birch, absolutely mandatory. Okay, this is for the stamina regeneration, really specifically. That's all it's really for. Movement speed's good as well, agility is good. All those are good stats, but the stamina regeneration is what we need. Steel does not have to be a steel ring, just any ring with a socket in it. I would prefer to see force shield on there like this. Flat damage, crit damage, all terrific stats. If you could get double flat damage, force shield, and crit damage, as well as crit damage roll, that would just be amazing. But this is the best I've gotten so far. You can see I have a barrel on here, and that gives us the stamina regeneration. Stamina regeneration here as well too. Again, same exact stats are necessary here as they are everywhere else. And then I have a Seal of the Arbiter because I got a really good one, although another one of these decently rolled ones works just fine as well. You don't have to have a Seal of the Arbiter. I have a two-hander in this build. You can use two one-handers if you have two really good ones. This is not that exceptionally good, and you can see I'm doing pretty decently high content with it. There are many other options, but the majority of them, I mean, you're just looking for damage, crit damage, attack speed. Well, attack speed's not that helpful, but attack crit chance is good, leech is good, triple damage, and then triple socket would be the prime. Coming over here to the skill tree here, looks a little weird. You can see we branch off into a few different directions on purpose. These two are mandatory for any of the smile builds. It's so much force shield, it's not even funny. Going up into these two for rage reduction cost, which is pretty damn good. And then really just up here for the plus 15 range of health globes. You can see when I was killing stuff in the demonstration there that I wasn't having to go run around and pick up health globes. That's because 15 range is literally almost the entire screen. So anything in melee range, the second it pops out a globe, you instantly take it. Bloop, 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 and you have no problems. Getting into this stuff over here, just life and force shield, not that big a deal. Coming up here for attack speed to counter our Seal of the Arbiter. You don't necessarily need this attack speed if you don't have Seal of the Arbiters. You can go for flat damage somewhere else. Maybe this one, maybe really anywhere else, wherever there's flat damage at. Can't really find one right now, but it doesn't really matter. It's pretty minimal. Maybe just go for agility and ferocity. The next stuff comes up here is literally just for all of the melee damage, ferocity, more damage, max health here, and then the close range damage. You're looking at 4% increased damage for everybody within 6 meters of you. It's pretty decent. Not sure it's working 100%, but it does work. So it's pretty decent. That's the majority of it. The last one I forgot is a little bit more stamina regeneration. I tried this. You can, if you're missing some stamina regeneration, route over here to this, but you do lose damage. You gain a little bit of life, but you lose damage. So, not that big of a deal. All of my attributes are going into ferocity for crit. I have a bunch of, or a decent amount of agility coming in here for some attack speed to counter, and then the dodge, which is decent. But that's the majority of the build. And just a quality of life thing, if you hold down, so I can hold down Q and W at the same time. I'm not mashing them. I can just hold them down, and anytime they're available, it'll use them. So now I can hit E and jump around from place to place. And whenever one is available, one of these two is available, it'll use them. So then you just jump from target to target, creating rage with your jumps here, because it's actually a rage builder. And then you can see that damage is just done. Another variation of this, using less stamina regen, if you're having trouble getting decent items with stamina regeneration on them, are using the Quintet of Sundowns in any one-hander. It doesn't really matter. You can use a pistol, you can use a dagger, doesn't really matter. Maces are probably the best damage, but you can use anything you have available. And then you can use Bulwark of Dawn. This is one of the other variations. If you use Bulwark of Dawn, you have to take the healing follows you, and then standing in the healing area increases stamina regeneration. And you can see when I actually do this, my stamina regeneration down here can be 1.4 or 1 point whatever, and when you cast that, you're going to drop down massively. So now I can sit there and I can leap around. You can see I'm never going to run out of stamina. That's one of the other variations of this build. The problem with it is you need to have willpower to use the Bulwark, and it gets a little obnoxious in my opinion, and that's why I came up with a different version of it. using these. Now your regeneration is not quite as low, but it works just fine, and it's really effective. Other than that, I mean, this is it's a goofy ass build. It's fun. You bounce around, you kill shit. It's really good for farming gear for another build. If you're running into problems with not clearing fast enough, this is the build for you. It clears really fast, especially in solo. You can easily do like a +4 and just spam +4s, boom, 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 and rush through. Nowadays, the only thing I would say is just stop. Just do whatever the top level is that you can and leave every time, because the bonuses from doing 6 of these is not very good, and it doesn't hurt. You make money that way. You're not going to lose money by dying as you continue to go up, and it's pretty quick and easy. So anyway, that's the build. Pretty easy, pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun to goof around with, and some of the guys who inspired me to kind of make this adaptation are Red Rum, Ants, a few other guys. Twok was one of them. As far as building the stamina, bounce around a whole lot, so I give them big props on making a little bit different variation than this, but nonetheless gave me the idea to add on to this build. So anyway, feel free to join our Discord. We got a group of guys. I mentioned Red Rum. We got Ants. We got Old Bones. All part of our the Lords of Mayhem, and we just goof around in there and share builds and do whatever we can to help out the community. And we stream together. We group together. We do a whole bunch of stuff. So feel free to drop by. I'll leave a link down in the description, as well as Twitch if you want to go and see me there. Anywho, we'll see you guys later. We'll hopefully get some new gear here soon and be able to build another build. In the meantime, I'll be goofing around with this and farming up some gear. So, peace.